everyone, I'm Goldfarb. Welcome to this edition of Betting for the Cycle, where we're giving you 4 picks for upcoming baseball games, matchups, or prop bets, and trying to go 4 for 4 to bet for the cycle. Here's how this works. I'll pose 4 potential wagers or daily fantasy comparisons. Our experts and I will each give you our picks and rank them based on how confident we are in the outcome. Least confident pick will be our single, most confident pick will be our home run. We'll each have a pick that we consider to be a home run, a triple, a double, and a single each and every week, which gives us a chance at betting for the cycle. Our individual stats are also going to be tracked all season long. You'll see those pop up on the screen as well. As always, this week I'm joined by Taylor Smith and Jim Beviglia. And guys, this week we begin with our first daily fantasy matchup of the show. Looking ahead to Friday, Dallas Keuchel making his 2019 debut for the Atlanta Braves. So we're pitting him against Cleveland's Trevor Bauer. Taylor, which pitcher will have the better outing on Friday?
So I'm going to lead this off with a home run. Trevor Bauer over Dallas Keuchel. Bauer's been pretty shaky with his control this season. Walk rate, I think, over 10%. But his strikeout rate is still up near 26%, and he's facing the Tigers. The Tigers have the second highest strikeout rate in the league against right-handed pitching this season, and the second lowest walk rate. So I think that mitigates some of the control concerns with Bauer. Keuchel's making his debut against the Nationals on the road. That's a significantly tougher spot. Good hitters park there in Washington. Bauer also has a long leash, the longest leash in baseball. He's thrown at least 100 pitches in 14 of 16 starts. He's gone 109 or more in 5 straight. So obviously being in the game longer gives you more potential to rack up fantasy points. Strikeouts are the name of the game. I think that matters more than win equity. So I'm going Bauer over Keuchel for my home run. Jim,
how do you see this playing out?
Yeah, I'm with Taylor, and I'm also going with Bauer as the home run pick here. He's coming off his best start, complete game shutout, and he's always tinkering. He's one of the guys that is never quite satisfied. I feel like fine-tuned mechanism, and he gets it right, he can go on a hot streak. Plus, he's facing the same team that he just shut out. And so I just feel like Keuchel maybe needs a start before he's ready to rock. And again, a tougher matchup. I just think all signs point to Bauer. Maybe down the road, this will be a game you could go with Keuchel, but first time out, I'm going to go with Bauer, and I'm also making it my home run.
Well, 2 home runs, 2 for Bauer. So, we got to have something a little different, right? So I'm going to pick Dallas Keuchel on it. I'm going to go very low confidence on it, though. I'm going to make it my double. And the reason for it is this. I think that Keuchel's in a position where he could stand, and it's a weird spot because I agree with you guys that in a first start after a few months of a layoff, he's had some really good appearances in the minors, but he's been off for a while. It's tough to get going. Bauer's, nearing midseason at this point. So, midseason form. My thing is, I think that Keuchel's got that chip on his shoulder. The way that he's pitched in his minor league assignment to gear up has kind of shown that. He is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's been on, when he pitched for Houston. And the guy had to sit out months to get a fraction of what he was worth. He's also playing for Atlanta, which is obviously a very good team at this point, leading the National League East. And I think that if there's an opportunity for a pitcher in their in their season debut, going a few months into the season, to have enough spark and enough reason to just come out and crush it in their first game, I'd go Keuchel. I think he might be a better value play if you're going that route, but I'm going to just pick him because I think that, like I said, if there's an opportunity for a pitcher with a few months of a layoff to come out on fire, this guy's going to be it. Because if it's not him, I don't see a situation where any pitcher could realistically start their season in June. So I'm kind of picking it for that reason. I think he comes out strong. I think he starts well. And you know what? For the value play, I'm just going to pick it as my double. I'm not going to get crazy here. It's very possible you guys are right. Bauer should have a very good game. I think that's the obvious thing. Keuchel's a bit more of a wild card, so I'm going to go with him as the double pick. Question 2, let's go to a series pick. We've got an interesting interleague series beginning on Friday. St. Louis Cardinals hosting the Los Angeles Angels, formerly of Anaheim. Jim, which team wins this 3-game series?
It's a very evenly matched series. I mean, you have two teams that are kind of in the wild card chase, not really division contenders right now. They've been playing okay. I think St. Louis might have been 7-3 the last 10. Anaheim 6-4. So they've all been about even. The pitching matchups, there's nothing there that really stands out as an obvious advantage for one or the other. Los Angeles or Anaheim or whatever they are about 500 on the road. So that gives a slight edge to St. Louis. And, because the other two matchups that we're going to talk about, I feel real toss-ups. Not crazy about this, but I'm actually going to make St. Louis my triple here.
So I'm also making St. Louis my triple pick on this one. And I was going through, as Jim was saying, I think that these are very even teams. It happens to be the one interleague matchup of the weekend that does a 3-game series. They're relatively close, similar records, kind of similar expectations, similar potential. But I was going through it on the numbers, and the Cardinals do have a better run differential for the year. They actually, both numbers significantly lower than the Angels. But the Angels against the National League this year are 6-2. They are 5-0 against the Dodgers and the Brewers. However, all 5 of those games came at the Angels ballpark. When they've played on the road and they've had to play by National League rules, they are 1-2, and that was against the Cubs. They are, with Shohei Ohtani in the lineup, 20-15 this season. He's their DH, and when he gets healthy again with his arm, he'll be a pitcher as well. Without him in the lineup, they're 17-22. So I am making the Cardinals my pick for the series. I am also making it my triple pick. So that is going to be 2 for 2 for the Cardinals, 2 for 2 on the triple. Taylor, are we making this unanimous, or are you going to do what I did in the last one and go in an entirely different direction?
I am going the other way. I'm taking the Angels. Not a super confident pick. It's my single. The lack of Ohtani is a problem, certainly. That's a big bad out of the lineup. But they did just get Justin Upton back. They did just get Justin Bauer back from the minor leagues. It's still a really good lineup top to bottom, even without Ohtani. And I think the pitching matchups on the whole favor LA. Griffin Canning against Michael Wacha. Wacha has been one of the worst starters in the game this season. Canning is one of the better young prospects out there. He's pitched pretty well. Felix Pena, no one really knows about this guy, but he has pretty good strikeout stuff. He's struggled a lot against lefties. The Cardinals have a pretty right-handed heavy lineup. So I think that favors him against Dakota Hudson. And then Sunday, Tyler Skaggs and Miles Michaelis. I think Skaggs is pretty clearly the better pitcher there. Michaelis is kind of one of the more overrated players in the game. So on the whole, I think the Angels have the advantage. I don't love it, though, so it's my single.
All right, pick number 3, another daily fantasy selection for Thursday this time. Minnesota's Jake Odorizzi gets matched up against Kansas City, and we're matching him up against Charlie Morton of the Tampa Bay Rays, who will be taking on Oakland. I get to start here. I'm grabbing Odorizzi and making it my home run pick. It's amazing how similar the numbers are here. Great win-loss records, great K per 9 rates, whips just above 1. Even the ERAs within 0.13 of each other. There's one glaring mismatch here, and that's the team each pitcher is lining up against. The A's are an okay team. The Royals just bad. And on top of that, Oakland strikes out at a significantly lower rate. Actually, a lower rate than all but 4 teams in the entire Major League Baseball, all 30 teams in the majors, while the Royals are somewhere in the middle of the pack. So the Twins more likely to get the win, and their opponents should strike out at least 1 or 2 more times over the course of the game. So I'm taking Odorizzi, making it my home run for the week. Taylor, can't be your home run because both you and Jim went a different direction with that earlier on. So what do you say about this matchup?
In spite of the tough matchup with Oakland, I'm taking Morton here. I just think he's a significantly better pitcher. Strikeout rate over 30%, ground ball rate over 51%. The A's don't strike out a ton, but they do have mostly righties in the lineup, and Morton has been devastating against right-handed hitters. Odorizzi's been good, but his xFIP is 2 full runs higher than his ERA. I think he's been pretty lucky so far this season. I think regression's on the way for him. So the matchup favors Odorizzi, but I think just in terms of pure talent, I'm going to go with Morton, and it's my double.
Jim, what say you?
Yeah, I'm going to play the tiebreaker. I actually agree with Taylor that Odorizzi is the lesser pitcher, but I agree with Drew that Odorizzi is the better pick here. I'm going to make it my single. Interesting, if you had to pick all-star pitchers right now, these two would probably be in the running for the starting pitcher for the American League. But I do think Morton's a better pitcher. However, you've got Odorizzi going against Kansas City, like Drew talked about. And, the thing is, also, this burned me last week, but against Glenn Sparkman, I believe, is the opposing pitcher. So should have a chance to be a big lead there. The Twins kill the ball. So I think just Odorizzi has a lot of built-in advantages there. I do agree with Taylor that Morton on the whole is the better pitcher, but Oakland's a little tougher matchup. Plus Oakland has Frankie Montas pitching, who's been very good this year. I'm not crazy about this one, but I am going to go with Odorizzi and make it my single.
Last one to complete the cycle. I wanted to make the weekend series between the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees a series pick, but they're scheduled to play 4 games. So for Saturday's game between these two in the Bronx, who picks up the win? In the event of rain postponements or a doubleheader, the game we're referring to here features a pitching matchup of Wade Miley for the Stros and Masahiro Tanaka for the Yanks. Taylor, know it's a tough one for you, given the Astros are involved, but who you got?
I prefer the Astros to the Yankees in general in the long run, as we've talked about and will. But I have to go with the Yankees here. Miley has been really good. He's been really good since he added that cutter to his arsenal last season. But righties have still given him trouble. 9 of the 12 home runs he's allowed have been to righties. The Yankees just got Giancarlo Stanton back. They just added Edwin Encarnacion. That's just a super stacked lineup, top to bottom, a lot of right-handed power. That's Miley's, pretty glaring weak spot. I think Tanaka is a bit overrated. The Astros did just get Jose Altuve back today, Wednesday, but they're still a little banged up. No Correa, no Springer in the lineup, no Aledmys Diaz. So I don't love it, but, I got to make it my triple, so I'm taking the Yankees.
Jim?
Yeah, I go with the Yankees. I'm going to make my double. The Yankees have the home field, so that's another thing going in their favor in this one. Tanaka actually pitched well against Houston. His one matchup this year. He pitched 6 innings, allowed just 1 run, whereas Miley has not faced the Yankees. And one thing Taylor didn't mention is there is a distinct possibility Aaron Judge might be back this weekend as well. He hit a home run in AAA last night, so I don't know that there's much left for him to do. So if you add him on top of Stanton, on top of Encarnacion, on top of Sanchez, on top of Voit, that's just a tough minefield for Wade Miley. I think the Astros' best chances if they knock out Tanaka and this turns into a slugfest. But I think on the whole, Tanaka probably gives a better start here. So the Yankees get the edge. And again, I'm going with them with my double pick.
So I like that across the board here, we're actually going with 3 different levels of confidence. Taylor's got the triple, Jim's got the double. This is my single, but we're all unanimous that the Yankees are going to win this game because I'm also going with the Yankees. You guys have mentioned a lot of it. I think that Tanaka versus Miley, as far as the pitching matchup, favors the Yankees. I think that the ballpark favors the Yankees. I think that the lineups favor the Yankees. I mean, and as Jim was just mentioning, if Judge is back, I mean, the Yankees then are just, it's hard to ever pick against them with Aaron Judge, even potentially in the lineup, regardless of who they're going up against. But you put him at home, it's a big-time series. I kind of want to echo everything Taylor said, where normally if it's like Astros-Yankees, I think that the Astros might be the better overall team. They might have the better season, but I'm going to make it unanimous. I'm going to make the Yankees my pick. So I think this is the first time in this show that the 3 of us actually agree on something, but we can't agree on just how confident we are because it's a single for me, it's a double for Jim, and it's a triple for Taylor. But it's the first time in this show that we all agree this is going to be the Yankees over the Astros. Before we wrap things up, we're going to check back in on our World Series picks. I've got a matchup with the Philadelphia Phillies at plus 420 to win the NL, Boston Red Sox at plus 550 to win the AL. Those odds remain steady. I've gone back and forth a bit as far as deciding whether or not to move from the Phillies to the Braves because Atlanta is plus 350 in the NL. With Keuchel coming in, it's one of those things where I'm like, I feel like this might be a good time to jump ship if I'm going to say, all right, jumping on the Braves bandwagon, this will be their year. They're going to do it for the National League because that plus 350 line that they've got right now might move. But I'm not going to move just yet. I still think the Phillies are a team that I like them for their value at plus 420 to win the National League. I still think they've got the team there despite the injuries they've suffered. But I'm throwing it out there now so that this way, if in 2 weeks the Braves are plus 200 and I decide to jump ship, that at least I've said I don't think they're a bad play at plus 350, just to put it out there, just so it's, on the internet, and therefore, of course, it happened. So Taylor, you've locked in the Astros and the Dodgers. You've got slightly better odds than are currently available in Houston, as well as solid odds for LA. Both teams now more favored to win the pennant than they were when you selected them. Any changes that you want to make to give up those better odds that you've got locked in?
No, I do like that Braves call. I think if anyone is there to dethrone LA, the Braves have a pretty good chance. But the Dodgers, their bullpen is a weakness right now. I think they will make a move to fortify that before the deadline. But everything else they have in their favor. The offense has been mashing. Kershaw was great last night. Buehler's looked great. Ryu's been great. Rich Hill has been very solid. If they're healthy in the playoffs, it's just hard to imagine anyone beating them in the National League. Ditto for Houston. Springer's coming back soon. Diaz, I think, is coming back soon. So I think that's top to bottom the best team in the league. No homer there. But, I'm just going to keep it with Houston and LA.
Jim, you locked in the Yankees and the Dodgers. Already went over LA's movement. The Yankees also slightly more favored now than they were when you locked them in. Any changes you'd like to make?
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to stay the same. I still feel the same way. The Braves, you guys both mentioned. The thing about them is that I don't know that they have the starting pitching still. That's my main concern about the Braves. I mean, you look at their roster, who is that one ace that you're really scared of as compared with the Dodgers, who have two or three? The Yankees and Astros are tight, no doubt about it. But I just feel like the Yankees have the parts now. They add Encarnacion. I'm not even that crazy about that move because I think the strength to a strength. I'd like to see them get more pitching would probably be the way to go, but they have the parts to go do that now. So I'm going to stick with my picks. I would like to see – I'd feel more confident about the Yankees if they did go out and get another starting pitcher.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of Betting for the Cycle. Be sure to check back next week where we'll show you the stats of how we did and give you our latest picks. For Jim Beviglia and Taylor Smith, I'm Drew Goldfarb. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.